And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. Joe DeLeone, Sean Anderson, 2 former college football players from the University of Rhode Island. We are here to recap week 2 of NFL action. We're going to try and remain as undistracted as possible as our apartment building chose to hold a dog pool party, which is a fallacy to believe that that was not going to just be a bunch of wet dog smell emanating from the pool and a bunch of dogs yelling at each other, trying not to bite one another. We're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I had to just bring that up because the calamity that is happening right outside this window that won't get picked up by our microphones is completely ridiculous.
Have you ever been to a crab feast at a pool?
A crab feast?
Yeah.
I would assume that the pool slowly starts to turn a very specific shade of whatever the seasoning is that was on the crab.
You know, it doesn't even impact the water, but my pool, my hometown pool in Virginia, once a year used to host an annual crab feast. You bring crabs in, idea. Everybody breaks crabs, they drink. It's kind of an adult night at the pool. The kids aren't really allowed at the crab feast. The next 3 days for the swim team, or rather the next week, the swim team shows up, 8 a.m., whole pool smells like crabs.
Were you on the swim team?
I was, yes. For many years. I was on the swim team from like age 4 to age 14. Why are you making that face?
You don't look like a swimmer.
I'm a good swimmer. I'm a fantastic swimmer. Fantastic swimmer.
You don't come off as a swimmer.
I would be fine.
Why haven't you tapped in on the pool then?
In the stinky dog pool?
Yeah,
with all the stinky people letting their dogs stink up the pool? No, thank you. I'm good on that pool. Also, personally, I love a pool. I love swimming in a pool. I don't like that pool, anybody could just look out of their window and see me float around.
So you're real self-conscious.
I just feel like I'm kind of in a fish. I would feel like a fish in a fish tank with everybody having their eye. Not even poolside. Poolside, that's completely different. They're completely normal. But somebody be able to pull out their blinds and see my big ass floating around.
That's all I'm doing all day. That's all I'm doing all day.
Exactly.
I'm looking out at the weird people in our building that are in that pool, and then
I know the activities, and I don't want to be a part of the freak show exhibit for whenever I do hop in.
I think you'd be perfect for it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think
I'd get a big draw.
Sure. Yeah, I think you would look up and everybody would be pressed up against their window.
I can't. No,
looking for a review. All right, we gotta talk about NFL Week 2. Today's episode is presented to you by FanDuel, where I was successful once again, 2-1 on my bets on the show. All the other bets I placed didn't hit, and FanDuel took my money. But it was a very, very nice day for me on field. How did you do on
3-0?
Did you bullshit?
My picks?
You changed your picks.
No, I didn't change my picks. Ravens crushed, Bills crushed, Bengals got away with it. I have so much on Bengals Jaguars from this week. But yeah, I went out there and I smoked it, and I'm back in NFL fashion. College.
I'm not buying that.
That's fine.
Seems like
I'm not having to buy back into FanDuel because FanDuel and their nice promos and their nice lines is treating me well, especially with my picks.
All right, well, we're not here to recap your fake made up success that you had. We're here to talk about NFL Week 2. We got to start with the Chiefs falling to 0-2. It is the first 3-game skid. This is including their loss in the Super Bowl for Patrick Mahomes since he was a junior at Texas Tech. It was kind of one of those things where I saw they were 0-2, and I thought, oh, well, they've had slow starts before. They've been off to a little bit of a slow going in past seasons, and they've been fine. This is technically their worst start. Now, the context is that they played the team that they lost to in the Super Bowl and a Chargers team that very clearly has gotten a lot better over this offseason. Now, what was crazy about this game is it could not have been more up to the epitome of what we know the Philadelphia Eagles to be, which is Jalen Hurts barely throwing the ball and just tush-pushing his way to success. Chris Jones was livid, and they got caught in a viral exchange where Jalen Hurts just merely pointed out, hey, we won the damn game. We won the game.
And that's kind of been the Eagles fans' attitudes as of late with this new team. I like seeing how a fandom morphs to what the product is on the field that their team is presenting them. And this team is boring. This team, when they really need to churn out a win, they have a great formula of running the rock, get it to 3rd and 3, get it to 4th and 1, convert 4th and 1, reset, and then just eat up a whole quarter doing that nonsense. And the discourse from the tush push, Dean Blandino coming out saying, I'm tired of talking about this play. I don't know what to do with it.
It's getting worse and worse, by the way. The more screenshots, they clearly have been pushing more and more. I don't know. It's not offsides, but you're not allowed to have
a rolling start. They're rolling. The guards are doing rolling starts, basically. And sometimes it goes ahead of the snap. You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to do a rolling start if you're an offensive lineman. You can cheat a little, you can lean a little, but you can't do a rolling start and start moving out before the ball itself is snapped against the rules. What do? How can an official judge it? It's too clogged up. I understand the bitching. I understand the frustration with the play. I'm still like, I still haven't reached my point with the play yet, though. I know a lot of people have. For me personally, I haven't reached my breaking point. And that's because I still feel like somebody can stop it. And somebody can stop the Eagles from doing it. So successful.
I don't think anyone. They're never going to get like truly stopped because they're given such annoying grace with their alignment and how they handle it. I think our attention. The Eagles have become so bread and butter that I don't think anyone's actually. They're so bland to this point where no one totally cares that much that they're 2-0. They've had a really good start to the season. They played amazing on defense through the course of the first 2 weeks. They deserve recognition for it. But we're sitting here wondering, is there panic for the Chiefs? Do you think that there is legitimate concern for the fact that they're 0-2?
Never concerned about them. I'm never concerned because it's Andy Reid. It's Andy Reid, everybody. Are we forgetting that he's a guru? Are we forgetting that he's the best coach in the NFL right now? There's coaches that you like more. There's coaches that you think might have more potential down the line. There's not a better coach than Andy Reid. He's going to have the team right. It's still Patrick Mahomes. I'm not worried about the Chiefs one bit. They have the pieces on the O-line. Austin Simmons impresses every time. No, Josh Simmons.
Josh Simmons.
Yes,
Josh
Josh
Simmons.
Simmons.
Simmons is the Ole Miss quarterback.
Yes, he is not as impressive.
Yeah.
Josh Simmons impresses. He pulled a Larry Allen this week, in case you missed it, tracked the defender down the sideline on a pick. They have so many good pieces for the Chiefs that I have no fear for them. And the Chiefs fans that are thinking it's over, it's not. Rashee Rice is going to come back. And obviously, the big issue still is they don't have a tight end. And that's going to plague them this year. They're probably not going to win the Super Bowl because the way that they ran their offense through Travis Kelce when he was in his prime is severely different than how they're running their offense through Travis Kelce, who has gone from fat, slow Travis Kelce to now kind of weathered Travis Kelce. Looks wiry, does not look as athletic, leaner, but less athletic.
I just don't understand why they're living in this world where they still think that he's this brilliant weapon that he once was. I know that he had the productive week 1 against the Chargers, but I almost think it's to the degree that everyone thinks, oh, there's no way that he's actually going to threaten us. If you only give up 1 touchdown to Travis Kelce and he finishes with the receiving total that he had in week 1, that's a win because you've completely shut down all of their explosive weapons. And on top of this, Kelce's so ass right now that he can't even pay attention to his surroundings. He clocked Xavier Worthy, and I would attribute that to all the big problems that they have with their pass game. They also can't run the ball, only 55 yards rushing this past game, 57 against the Chargers. Their leading rusher at times has been Patrick Mahomes, which is incredibly disturbing. There's just a lot of frustrations that come with an offense that's supposed to be creative and explosive. Part of me does wonder, hey, did we finally did we hit the ceiling here? Did we finally hit the ceiling?
I wouldn't say so because a lot of people are noticing, and I noticed that Mahomes is missing with the deep ball, and the connection there with his receivers has been off through the first 2 weeks. There's been a lot of touchdowns left off the board from overthrows, from drops. They're going to get on the same page, and then it's going to be back to classic Chiefs. How did they do this? The voodoo magic stuff that we were talking about last year. He's been missing right now. I don't project Patrick Mahomes to continue missing throughout the season. Eventually, him and Thornton are going to get on the right page because those two
big ask right there for Tyquan Thornton.
I know, but Tyquan Thornton has been the main, I guess, the lead option for the deep ball.
Well, hence team. The problem.
Yes, I agree. It should be Worthy. It should be other players, but it's Thornton right now. Get on the same page, get in practice, and actually work it. Maybe Get off the State Farm commercials. Stay after with Mr. Thornton. He could use it.
Who would have thought that the Bengals would be 2-0 to start the season, but they're 2-0 without their starting quarterback? Joe Burrow is hurt, turf toe. He's going to be out an extended period of time. And now next week, and I'm going to deliberately go out of my way to bet on this game, we are going to be forced to watch absolute dog ass between Jake Browning and Carson Wentz.
Oh, yeah.
Vikings versus Bengals next week. Wait, did that game get primetime love for where that's going to appear? If you could check that while I'm talking about this game here. 31-27 win over the Jaguars as Browning comes in, leads a 92-yard game-winning drive. I'm actually kind of excited for Jake Browning. It's disappointing that Joe Burrow's down, but I think that Browning's one of the best backups in the league that doesn't get enough love, and it shows up when he needed to march down the field and help him score.
Yeah, he's real good. He'll be playing at 1 o'clock versus the Vikings and Carson Wentz this Sunday.
Sick. That would have been sick if that was Sunday Night Football.
This Browning-Wentz matchup.
Falcons versus Vikings.
I apologize for my team and the boringness that we brought.
Yep.
But this game, Browning is good. I saw the point made. Man, Joe Burrow's so good. And if Joe Burrow's so good, how come Jake Browning could come in and completely continue to win games and then work in the offense? He's a good backup. That's what I would hope a backup could come in and do. He's still not making the plays Burrow can. He's not Joe Burrow, but in the offense with the Jamar Chase, T. Higgins duo, you're going to see a quarterback with some level of competency come in and be able to do that. And it was done against the sorry-ass Jaguars. Joe Burrow injury issues, not fun and uncomfortable to talk about, uncomfortable to have a dialogue about because people get really defensive about quarterbacks and they get even more defensive about when quarterbacks start getting the term injury prone tagged onto them. Joe Burrow is injury prone. The wrist, the knee, the toe, he is.
I feel like,
but that
he has okay. I think
that shouldn't be counted as a negative. But he is injury prone.
Hold on. I think that there is a difference between injury prone and bad injury luck. A player to me who's injury prone has recurring issues with the same part of their body, or even the same exact. Are you looking up the definition of injury?
Don't worry about what I'm looking up over there. Please
I'm merely explaining how I perceive it. There is obviously no freaking definition for injury prone that I'm going off of here. Is your light on, by the way?
Yeah, mine's on.
Tua is injury prone. He has constant concussions. Guys who suffer repeated ACL injuries or repeated hamstring injuries, those things, that is injury prone to me. We have a toe injury. You just mentioned the wrist. I understand that he has had a lot of severe injuries, but I think that he's one of these players who willingly puts his body on the line, which I commend him for that. He can't control that he ends up getting devastating things happening to him. That's why it's bad luck rather than him being injury prone.
It's happened every year but one. I'm not rookie season.
What are the injuries?
2020 rookie season, torn ACL, MCL, PCL, left knee, along with a meniscus tear.
Devastating, crazy knee injury. Okay.
2021, dislocated pinky finger on throwing hand,
unrelated to his knee.
Continued to play without missing games. 2022, suffered an MCL sprain in the Super Bowl.
Was it the same?
Unsure.
Knee?
Unsure.
Okay, that one I will. Well, okay, we're not sure, so it could be the opposite knee.
2023 suffered a right calf strain during training camp and aggravated injury during the season, and tore a ligament in his right wrist, resulting in a season-ending injury in
all
week
completely
11.
Different parts of the body.
2025, a turf toe injury. It's not a continued injury; it's injury prone. He can't stay healthy or on the field, which sucks.
Injured a lot does not mean though it is a recurring problem that can't.
He's gotten injured every year but one, Joe.
But here's the other thing, too. I don't like the connotation of injury prone because to me it implies a player is not paying attention to detail in his recovery. I look at these guys that show up like fat and out of shape for training camp and offseason workouts, and they've got nagging hamstring injuries. They've got nagging problems that just keep coming up because they didn't put the work in the offseason to prepare their bodies. I don't think that any of these injuries are soft tissue, very just poor timing circumstances.
What would you rather me say?
Devastating.
Would you rather me say he keeps getting hurt and missing games?
He has awful
Joe Burrow.
luck.
Joe Burrow keeps getting hurt and missing games, which hurts the Bengals. That's the situation with him. The Bengals, though, outperformed in their first 2 weeks. Honestly, I thought they were going to be dog shit. Uber bad dog shit. What happens for the next 3 months while Joe Burrow is repairing ligaments in his feet? They'll probably start sliding. They'll probably lose, miss the playoffs. It's awful. This wasn't even the most interesting part of this game, by the way. Wasn't even close. Joe Burrow and the Bengals and Jake Browning and the Bengals, good win. Maybe you could be scrappy. I hope you have the bones and you have the discipline to carry out through the year. The Jaguars side of things in this game, infinitely more interesting to me. They are so shit. Let me get that out of the way.
God, you are such a Jaguars hater.
They're bad, and people try to tell me they're good because they have a trendy coach and a trendy GM, and they drafted Travis Hunter.
2 games in.
They're awful.
We're 2 games in.
You're losing to a backup quarterback. On the road, I'll give it to you.
2 games in.
You're losing to a back. It's been 20 seasons in of dog shit. They've had two AFC championship
seasons don't impact 2025 though.
Since 2025, they've been to the AFC championship twice. Once with David Garrard, and once
more than some teams
and once
say.
with Blake Bortles, and the golden boy that you've brought to Jacksonville has gone to the playoffs once. I'm sure they're not uber turbo shit, but the Jaguars
2 games
in this game, 2 games in. This is what do you want to see this 2 games in, or do you not want to see this 2 games in? Do you want to see your head coach yelling at your star quarterback, from the sidelines, hit him in the chest, and see the star quarterback dismiss said new coach?
We don't know what that exchange was.
We know exactly what the exchange was. Use some critical thinking. It was after a bad miss. And that's the only thing Cohen could have said. Tap into his chest.
Maybe he was waving at somebody else on the sideline.
You have an egomaniac, nerd analytic head coach in Liam Cohen, who is in the right.
Is he an analytics guy?
He is in the right. Grow a beard if you don't want to be associated with the analytics guys. He shouldn't have sold Trevor Lawrence out there. It's a bad look to be on the sideline snubbing your quarterback like that. Bad look. But he is expecting more, and he hasn't been delivered what he needs. And Trevor Lawrence's dismissiveness of him, bad leader, bad quarterback, bad sign. Get him out of Jacksonville. Get him. He should be at a different spot.
I think it's just so reactive to say 2 games. We got it. Like the whole thing's screwed. There's no way that there's any success to be found. This whole thing's a mess.
When did he get drafted? What how many years has he been in the league? 4 years?
No, 5.
5 years? Come on.
5? He's got his second contract. Maybe this is his 5th year.
I just can't. I don't understand why people will go to bat for the Jaguars so much.
I'm willing to go to the bat for them because I think that they're still. We've seen success from them. We've seen them be a quality competitive.
I like the
team
27 points. I like Brayshaw Tootin getting the rock and making something happen. Brian Thomas Jr. You have serious concerns about.
I think you're selling him out way too quickly. Very rarely do teams 2 games into a new head coach taking over the team do they just immediately have no issues. They have to develop a relationship.
This is not a good-looking relationship that I am seeing being developed in Jacksonville.
He
was and Cohen was unhappy last week also in the press conference. Said quarterbacks need to be better, and he was saying that in the preseason too. Trevor Lawrence.
I would argue good for him for being critical publicly of his quarterback because everybody has been nothing but glazing of Trevor Lawrence. Maybe that is what needs to happen in order for him to play better. I will tell you about a bad relationship that I deal with every single week, and that is the one that I have with the New York Giants. This week was just a pummeling of emotions as you sat here and watched me painfully observe. The Giants lose 40-37. There were so many chances and so many opportunities for them to win this game, not to mention the fact that Russ goes for over 400 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson's awesome. Malik Neighbors is awesome.
Stud.
The defensive line and pass rush was smothering Dak Prescott, but they gave up 160 yards of penalties. They had 14 penalties, and it was summed up by the stupidity of the coaching staff, which today Brian Daboll avoided answering the question regarding this. They decided with 25 seconds left to give Dak Prescott in a wide open lane to connect with Jake Ferguson because they dropped their safeties way too far back. That allowed for a completion that set up a Brandon Aubrey field goal as the biggest leg kicker in the NFL.
64-yard field goal.
I knew he was going to make it.
Of course he would. He's a
guarantee.
machine.
He's got a huge leg.
He's awesome.
They didn't think to say, hey, if they're going to beat us over the top, they deserve to beat us over the top. Let's not give them the layup by allowing them to get to the 50-yard line to kick a game-tying field goal. The minute that happened, I knew that the game was over and they didn't deserve to win it. This Giants team sucks. They don't do the little things right. The execution is terrible. Dayball is going to be gone soon. There's nothing new to talk about here.
Easy, buddy. Easy. There's so much here to talk about. There's so much here to talk about with New York.
Fuck you.
I'm telling you, this Giants team got me really excited yesterday. Really, really excited. In a crazy loss, credit to the Cowboys. They have the best they have the best special teams weapon in the NFL. Brandon Aubrey is phenomenal. Like an absolute, like how people used to talk about Ray Guy and the old Raiders special teams units. That's how we should be talking about the Cowboys and Brandon Aubrey. Just fantastic talent. The Giants showed me a lot yesterday. The defense is fun. They have a good buzz about them. The Giants haven't had an energy about them in the forever in the Daboll era.
This isn't an energy.
This is a good energy.
No. I'm not.
Follow me, man.
You're setting yourself up for me to torch you in this next
There's
segment.
no need.
Miss me with that bullshit.
They've got a great energy.
100. That was a bad voice crack. 160 yards of penalties is good energy,
it's
Sean.
Good energy. Malik Neighbors is good energy. That an unstoppable force on the outside is a good energy.
I'm not gonna let you do this.
A defensive line that can constantly cause havoc is good energy.
Stop patronizing me.
I'm not.
Stop patronizing me.
This is what they should do. All right.
You're a real piece of shit. You know that.
This is what the Giants should do.
This is what bad friends do.
They need to save their season. We can agree. And this is a salvageable season. And I've never said that about the Giants since.
No, it's not.
It is.
Stop. You can't say that statement
really
seriously and not think that you're effing with me.
Joe, you put up 37 points against the Cowboys. The last 2 years, you've gotten drubbed by them. Didn't you open up the season with them a couple years ago, lose 40 to 3?
Drubbed by them.
You put up 37 against this team. It's salvageable. This is what happens. Russell Wilson has a couple games a year where he's really special and he explodes. Last year, he did it against the Bengals, put up 44 points, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, and moved Pittsburgh to 9-3 before they fell off a cliff. And everyone knew the Russell Wilson cliff fall was going to happen. This game right here, it happened in week 2. You know what you do? Sell high. Sell Russell Wilson high. So you go trade him to the Bengals, trade him to Minnesota, trade him to Cleveland. You get Russell Wilson out stock high, get like a 5th-round pick back. I don't care what you get for him because the drop-off is going to happen, and he will regress to that awful mean that we've seen from him in the last 6 or so years. Then, while the boys are still buzzing and the season is optimistic and new off of a good high-scoring loss, you went to overtime with the Cowboys, who was the clear 3 in the NFC East. Then you bring in Jackson Dart. While the guys are buzzing, you have an energetic young quarterback who we both have some kind of belief in. How can you not buy into this? You could get a return on a dog water quarterback that's playing well right now, have Jackson Dart take the helm, and you're not without a good backup in Jameis in case something happens to Dart.
You think, okay, here's the problem that you just outlined here.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't doing any of that shit.
I know they won't.
They're not doing any of that.
They should. They really should.
Brian Daboll couldn't even explain to the media today why they left the 50-yard line wide open and a path for Ferguson to run up the middle of the field. Do you think that they have that type of strategic thinking at the current moment? Brian Daboll, his tone when speaking to the media has been borderline. Actually, I'm not going to say the word I wanted to say. He seems awfully depressed. He seems awfully,
I gotcha.
Awfully, like really feels like he's given up.
He shouldn't.
But they're not going to do any of this.
Oh.
Joe Shane's one of the biggest morons of a general manager that you're going to find. He has some of the worst track record. He has the worst track record of a general manager for the Giants that I can think of. And the last guy was David Gettleman.
Here's what I'll say. I think those guys are all
trade happen that you're saying.
I think that you are smarter than both of those guys. So do you like this idea?
I'm not going to answer that question.
Do you like this?
I don't have to. I could play in hypothetical world as much as I want. And I'm not going to because the realistic smart thing to do doesn't happen with this team. It doesn't. It doesn't.
Okay. Would you, if in the hypothetical world, if you weren't even making this call,
Don't
if
ask
you were,
me a hypothetical.
If you were in the hypothetical world on hypothetical X, the hypothetical everything app,
keep
would you
asking
tweet
me more
good move?
hypotheticals. Keep
God.
asking me. No, I wouldn't tweet good move because there'd be some sort of there'd be something coming. There would be some sort of.
You're in the hypothetical world. You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Yes.
Still. Oh, that stinks.
Yesterday was literally the example of that. It felt the whole time I kept saying to you, I was saying this is all too good. This all actually feels too good. There's no way that they win this game. The shoe drops at some point. Reality sets in. Success cannot be had. It's juxtaposed with. We're not going to talk about the Colts because I don't want to talk about them today. We don't have time to get to them today. Actually, we could get to them today. It's juxtaposed with the fact that the Colts are 2-0 now after Daniel Jones just doing barely enough and them having all these scoring drives and then getting completely aided by one of the most ridiculous penalty calls.
I've never seen anything like that before.
That turned a 60. I know I'm kind of dancing around what had happened and what I'm talking about here. The way that I know that the Giants aren't bound to be good is the fact that Daniel Jones still exists and that he is in the NFL and he's starting.
Yeah.
And he's actually not absolutely horrendous. Do I regret him leaving? No.
You shouldn't.
Do I think that the world is out to get me because he is somehow improved and just a little bit better? Yes, I think that is absolutely true.
Gotcha. You know what? I kind of understand where you're coming from. When you've taken so many beatings just on your back and on your ass from a team for so long.
I don't know about my ass.
It's hard.
I don't know about that.
I mean, they've just been spanking you. It's really hard
for yourself
to hear another person be objective and try to be optimistic about your franchise.
You're trying to piss me off.
I'm not.
You did it. You pissed me off.
I wasn't trying to piss you off. I think this team has real solid bones. I do. I think the young talent has good bones. And Thibodeau got in on a sack. How about that? Can we get fired up for Thibodeau?
No, you can't get fired up for Thibodeau.
I like this Giants team.
We're
probably betting on them.
We're probably not going to get to the Colts. I want to talk about the Falcons, and we'll maybe have one more time for one more game before we got to get out of here. I tell you what, this Falcons team has the bones to really do some stuff this year, man. They've really got the bones to do some serious damage this season. I see a team that has a lot of promise, and if it maybe makes a couple of tweaks, that they can absolutely go on a run. Everything is just aligning as perfectly as it possibly could because, again, as you have said, this team has the bones to produce some success. Those bones that I'm talking about, no one could have predicted that in week 2 that atrociously bad Falcons defense that was absolute ass cheeks last season, that hasn't been good in some time. They haven't had a good pass rusher.
9 years.
Soft, weak, uninspired, lame.
Yes. Bad jerseys.
They would have
fat fans.
You don't like the okay.
That's me.
All right. No one would have guessed that they would have had 6 sacks on JJ McCarthy. They would have had 2 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles. I know that is not replicable every single week. I know that you're going up against one of the most glazed quarterbacks in maybe the history of quarterbacks, more than Mahomes in JJ McCarthy. I know that you captured a chance to really take advantage of a young quarterback who was still trying to figure things out. I think that it is at least 70% replicable, which means if you can get 3-4 sacks a game and get a turnover, you win every ball game.
Yeah.
But Penix's got to be better, man, and they got to be finishing in the red zone. They can't keep getting all the way down there and then just pooping their pants and then kicking the ball off to their opponent again.
Firstly, I at the beginning of you introducing this game, it felt like you were lashing out a little bit for something. I'm not sure exactly.
Gee, I wonder what it was, asshole. Your team is a win. I root for your team, unlike you. I'm not a bad. No, you don't root for my team. You place bets on them and you jinx them.
I didn't bet on that team yesterday. You
bet on Notre Dame?
I didn't bet on Notre Dame this past week.
I don't believe you.
You want to see the slips?
You started.
I'll pull up the FanDuel slips right now. I didn't
started this bad juju by betting on them in week 1. But sorry, go ahead. Talk about this game.
Yeah, look,
playing Purdue, you better not bet on them.
It is.
They lose to Purdue. I'd kill you. I would kill you.
I called Purdue upset last year. Maybe it was just a year delayed. I'd hate for that to happen. I
forgot you did that. That was one of the stupidest things that you've ever said.
Ryan was really unhappy with me.
Yeah. Yeah,
he was so unhappy. He threw me to the Notre Dame.
Yeah,
why would he throw me there?
You say stupid shit like that, you deserve to get.
You know what? I didn't.
Blake does it to me all the time.
I didn't really process that in the moment, but now I'm kind of actually getting angry in retrospect. Seeing
all right,
that Ryan
deflecting. Stop deflecting. We're talking about Atlanta.
Oh, who? Oh,
your team.
The Falcons on Sunday night. Firstly, apologies to the watching nation, the football fans, for seeing the stink fest that my favorite team put on. The kicking, the field goals, the lack of offense. Apologies. I know it's boring. I know it was slow. I know they didn't get a touchdown until 4 minutes left in the fourth. That's not a pleasurable experience for anyone. But for me, it was like walking into Shangri-La, because for the first time in forever, I watched an Atlanta Falcons team who, thank God for the Miami Dolphins for taking the being the lightning rod for all the soft talk for them being the softest in the league. Atlanta was number 2 softest in the league forever.
Yeah.
So last night I saw something I haven't seen in a long, long time, and that was hard-nosed running. Bijan Robinson, a commitment to him running smoothly, trying to stay upright, a good balance with him and Tyler Algier through a good Vikings defense. They were hurt. The Vikings had some injuries. I'm not going to say that they didn't, and they weren't at full staff, but still a very talented Vikings defense. They ground them down, and then they won with the defensive line play. I haven't said that the Falcons have won with defensive line play maybe in all my life. They've never saved us. Once, ever have they saved this team. Harrison Pierce Jr. looked athletic. He looked like a freak. I loved it. Jalen Walker, put him on the line. They put him on the line, Joe. He got a sack on the line.
It was actually creative.
It was good.
It was creative.
I was like, I couldn't believe it. It was like watching a brand new ball club. Still, not the ball club that Atlanta, it's not the style of play last night that Atlanta needs to run with the entire year. You cannot win with 5 field goals and a late touchdown in every game. That's not the game plan. You need to get Michael Penix Jr. on the same page with Drake London immediately. Starting the game, starting the half, targeting Kyle Pitts so much, fantastic. And then you go away from him for the whole second half. Can't happen. There's consistency things in Zach Robinson's offense that will frustrate a fan so much. It'll frustrate. It feels like I'm pulling my freaking fingernails out watching him run out of the pistol, no play action, no deep targets. It's really, really disjointed offensively. But a defense for Atlanta showing up is so rare. It's like an eclipse. That was like a lunar eclipse.
I was blown away. I was legitimately blown away by how they played. And you had to readjust your frame of how you were paying attention to the game like every 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You had to say to yourself, wait, they have how many sacks? They're actually giving it to Minnesota right now. And
the rookies are playing well. Yeah. Billy Bowman playing well. Interception, good pick.
Yeah.
Xavier Watts, good play. People love Xavier Watts. I'm being patient with him. I'm liking what I'm seeing, and it's about damn time. Raheem Morris is supposed to be a defensive coach, and finally the defense showed up. That's all I've ever asked for a head coach, by the way. If you are a head coach in the NFL that deems yourself offensive or defense, then that side of the ball has to be – it has to show up.
Yeah.
It just simply can't. Or just be master motivator. Just say, I got an offensive coordinator. I have a defensive coordinator. I oversee it all, and I make sure everything goes well. I manage the clock. I do all the other head coach things. But if you're Raheem Morris, you're defensively, it's been 3 years of shit, and now we got a good performance. Thank God.
Well, and I think that the biggest part with all this, and as I led into this segment, the fact that you were able to be that dominant. It's not like one of those games where you have a couple nice plays and you're thinking like, oh, we can build off of this. It's not like the Giants game yesterday where the pass rush was awesome and the secondary got completely cooked and they had all these mistakes. And you look to the positive of the sacks that were generating, the pressures that were generated by your 3-headed monster, but you still know that there's problems. The whole unit was dominant and they made a rookie look like a incompetent rookie. So he got hit so much that he's not going to play next game.
Yeah. The Bears must be real bad. The Bears must be real bad. And the overreaction to JJ McCarthy, I thought his first game against the Bears was really good. I thought he played.
I didn't think it was.
I didn't
think he played well at all. I thought he played just above mediocrity enough that it allowed for people to think that he played a great game.
For a young quarterback, I give a lot of leeway through the first 3 quarters, and when it's nut cutting time in the fourth, and you're a close one, if a young quarterback can go down, march, make big time throws, I think he's got something in him. McCarthy showed me that in week 1. Week 2 wasn't much of it. I'm being patient with McCarthy. I thought I was going to be leading the bandwagon of this guy stinks. I'm continuing. I'm being patient with him. He still might stink. But yeah, he got exposed. And that's what I want a defensive coordinator to do to young quarterbacks. I didn't expose him.
I didn't realize we had Colin was in the chat. I didn't open the chat today, and I didn't realize Colin's in the chat.
He's mixing it up.
He was mixing it up. The last thing I want to get to before we get out of here, I want to kind of lump together the 2 teams that gave us the most entertaining game this season, that being the Ravens and the Bills. And they just continue to do what we know that they're able to do, which is kick absolute ass when they're presented with an opportunity to violate a much weaker opponent. Ravens 41-17 over the Browns. We've got the Bills completely clocking the Jets 30-10. I feel like after that game, it's just going to be a crash course, or not a collision course. Sorry, is the word that I want to use there. It's going to be a collision course as both those teams ride full speed through every single obstacle that they have up until the point where they collide with one another in the AFC Championship game. I'm going to be really disappointed if we have to watch these guys play each other again before the AFC Championship game. I want Ravens Bills, and if they continue to play like this, they're absolutely going to get there.
Through 2 weeks is not an overreaction to say that I think the AFC Championship game would be more entertaining than the Super Bowl. Whoever the NFC rep is, I wouldn't want to see it. I'd want to see Bills Ravens. I would. I wouldn't want to see Bills play the Eagles, because it's just going to be grind you out running and then tush push. That's what it's going to. It's going to be Ed Oliver getting angry about it, and I don't need that. The other reps from the NFC aren't going to provide what the Ravens and the Bills do, which is unreal football. Unreal. Myles Garrett was good in this game. Like there were players on the Browns that showed up and they still got destroyed. They got murked. The Jets looked like a serious team last year. They play the Bills last week. They play the Bills this week. They look like children. This is the class. These are the teams that you need to give respect to. And if your team isn't operating close to the wavelength that the Ravens and the Bills are, then you got a problem. And if they're not being open about their rebuild on trying to get to that level, then you need to get them to that open dialogue of, we're nowhere close. The other 30 need to catch up, or they need to be in a straight up honest conversation. Like the Titans, at least they said we're doing it. At least they said, hey, we're going to be bad, but we're taking a shot at this young quarterback and the O-line, and we're going to try to build something to get to a spot like that. We are bad, and we know it. Some of these other teams that are dicking around.
Yeah, meandering about.
Just like for what? For what? For what, Seattle? Draft a quarterback every year. Seattle needs to draft a quarterback in the first round every year. Arizona does now too, I think.
They're 2-0.
I come on. They blew a 25-point lead to the Panthers in the second half. They held on to it, but
so critical of quarterbacks, man. A guy,
you know why? Because I'm looking at two. I'm looking at one on the Ravens and one on the Bills that can really do it.
But it's such a rarity to find one of those guys. That's the whole point. It's impossible to get those guys.
Well, those guys win. Those guys
win before you find them.
They win Super Bowls. Those guys win Super Bowls. Or
look how long
you build a mega team like the Eagles.
Look how long both those teams toiled in mediocrity at quarterback, even to the point where the Ravens had Flacco for as long as they did, and he wasn't even good enough. He won a Super Bowl, but for the most part, he was not good enough.
Keep taking swings. I'm not saying you take John Mateer at 5 overall. I'm saying just keep taking swings. Because
you love wasting draft capital.
I like taking a swing on getting a Jaden Daniels type young quarterback or a CJ Stroud.
Those guys don't come around often. You're making that concept seem so much easier than it is.
It's one a year. There's one a year, just about.
You can't. Okay, but the problem is unless your team's absolute dog ass and you're picking in the top 5, you're not going to get a chance to take one of those guys.
Trade up, sell the farm. Take the belief. I am all for trading picks to try to get the quarterback, to try to get the one key that can reset my whole franchise.
But how many times has that worked? I look back at 2 examples. Very recent examples. Mm-hmm. You have the Panthers doing it, and it's rough. Yet to give them a return. And then you have, and the more ironic part is that they didn't take Stroud, who's been the better quarterback thus far. And then on top of this, you have the Rams deal that they had to go up and get Jared Goff, who they inevitably ended up trading. Their success came off of the fact that they hit on every other draft pick that they had after that.
Look, they took a swing. That's all I want. I want you to I want a front office to say I'm taking a swing.
We need tangible examples of success to justify doing that. I think that when you give up all that capital, you're not set it. I can't believe that this is where this conversation has devolved to. But I'm just not for this
you would rather
process.
I can't imagine if it's 2 years now and Michael Penix Jr. hasn't taken Atlanta to the playoffs, at least to the second round. I am looking at the next quarterback for the team.
Oh, absolutely.
You have
wait,
to.
but absolutely. And as somebody who roots for a team that watched a bad quarterback year over year over year that they didn't move on from, it's not as simple just to say we're going to go take the next guy.
Yeah, I gotcha, but you have to be in it to get the next guy. You can't just keep on trotting out there knowing your quarterback is going to contribute to maybe +3 wins on your team, like Kyler Murray.
But here's the problem, though, and this is maybe where we get off the rails. Anthony Richardson's the example of a guy, like the next guy that you go and take. That's an example of a guy that you swing on.
I'd say
look at the risk versus reward of Anthony Richardson.
What do you mean? They took a swing and now they got an even better quarterback.
Okay,
they
don't have an even better quarterback. Now they got a Pro Bowler. They don't have an even better quarterback. They're stuck with Ding Dong Daniels. I can't wait for the floor to fall out with him, man. I can't wait for the floor to fall out with him.
Likewise.
Y'all just fucking wait.
Likewise. But I'm seeing him do some stuff I've never seen him do before.
I don't care about that. I don't care about
what
Daniel
do you mean? How could you not?
My point that I'm trying to get at here is that in order to get the game changers, you have to aggressively risk selecting a guy with traits. Lamar Jackson, elite traits. It was uncertain if he would succeed in the NFL, and he has to this point. Josh Allen, elite traits. Uncertain if he would succeed to this point. Chiefs traded up to go get Patrick Mahomes. Elite traits. Huge risk. But for every one of those guys that we name, you have a Jake Locker, you have an Anthony Richardson, you have these guys that are these big, powerful mooses or these elite speedy athletes that end up stinking it up.
Yeah.
The risk versus reward.
That's the NFL, though. There's more guys that won't pan out to be the great than there are that will. Like that is historically, there are far more bad quarterbacks in the NFL. Or not even bad, but there's far more quarterbacks in the NFL that didn't reach the heights of the greats than there are greats. I'd rather keep on swinging at the greats. That's all you can do.
That'll be an endless march till the end of time.
Exactly. And it's the only thing that should keep a franchise going is the endless march to find the next great.
Today's lesson on today's show, nothing matters. We're all just small pieces in a gigantic world where maybe we'll be the next great quarterback or we'll just
Your
be
next
lost
great is wearing 6.
I don't even know that, man. I don't even know that.
You wouldn't know it if you didn't
it's like a Pandora's box if we're going to open that thing up and find out if he's actually good or not.
You got to open it up. I'm excited. I hope you guys crack that thing open. Hope he throws 3 touchdowns in his first game. Hope he throws 3 and runs for 1 against a good team.
You're a real bad person for saying these things. We're going to talk to you guys later. We're going to be back on Thursday with the betting show. We'll be doing FCS content during the week. At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod, 201-834-4308. Call in, leave us a voicemail. We'll talk to you later.